tiny sparrow pecked at the big bird's toe, and the very next second, a disaster on a wire was about to unfold. It all started on a single power line. One bird was resting quietly when a second bird arrived. So many empty spots to stand on, yet it just had to squeeze right beside him. They were just about to start a fight when a third bird flew in, took one look, and wisely backed away. But too late, he still got dragged into the chaos. Soon, a fourth bird joined in, and their argument exploded. More and more birds landed, all yelling at each other. At this point, nobody even knew who was right or who was wrong. The wire shook with noisy chirping, until suddenly, a strange call silenced them all. A giant bird had arrived, friendly, smiling, just wanting to make friends. But the little birds looked at his goofy face and started mocking him, making everyone laugh. The big bird tried to fit in. The sparrows rolled their eyes and shuffled away in disgust, huddling together to whisper behind his back. Curious, the big bird leaned in to listen, almost falling off the wire. So instead, he flew right into the middle of them. The sparrows froze in shock. The wire bent under his weight, and all the little birds slid toward the center, squished tightly together, miserable. Annoyed, they yelled at the big bird, telling him to go away. But he just kept smiling, clueless. Finally, one sparrow snapped and bit him. The big bird slipped, caught himself by one toe. Again, the sparrows were pulled to the middle, and two of them began pecking furiously at his toes, while the others cheered them on. The big bird still thought it was a game, and cheered along with them. Soon, only one of his toes was barely holding him up. At last, one smart sparrow realized something was wrong. The wire was now almost touching the ground. If the big bird fell, they would be the ones in trouble. He shouted for everyone to stop and look down. Panic spread. They yelled at the two sparrows in the center, but it was too late. Snap! The big bird fell flat on his back, not hurt at all, but the sky was suddenly filled with feathers. The big bird blinked, then gently blew the floating feathers away. And then, plop, a bald, pink little creature dropped in front of him. It was the loudmouth sparrow from before, completely featherless. Embarrassed, the little bird grabbed a leaf to cover himself, but then, plop, 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 more bald little sparrows fell from above, each one barer than the last. Seeing this ridiculous scene, the big bird finally burst into laughter.